Okay, wanted to do a quick update. I've been super busy around here with the shop and everything, but here's the new shop. It is super muddy out. It just got done raining. It's been raining most of the morning. It's a mess. But there's my shop. 30 by 50, 10 by 50 concrete covered front porch. One thing we had to do, we figured out pretty quick, speaking of rain, is we had to get gutters on this thing. So spent pretty much almost $2,000 just getting these gutters added onto it, which I did not expect, but we learned pretty quick rainwater was going to be an issue now that we added all this roof mass. But this is basically what the building looks like. 2 10 by 12 garage doors. Then I've got enough room in between my buildings here that I can store stuff or just drive back and forth, whatnot. I'm gonna have to, I started building these retaining walls. Obviously, I'm gonna have to go back and get a lot more blocks, and then probably have to bring in at least one more load of gravel, unfortunately, but that's part of it. Here's the covered porch. I've got 3 windows on this side under the covered porch, which is pretty nice. Let's go inside. And this is what it looks like inside. I've got these little LiftMaster direct shaft drive openers, which are super awesome, extremely easy to install, and super quiet. We've been using the shop quite a bit. You can see we finally got the ping pong table out here. I pulled in that shelf thing. I got that from Gorman's, where I used to work years ago, and got that out here for some storage, some little shelves. I've got our old entertainment system cabinet in here with a little TV. Been watching some TV out here. The toolbox. The sink was hooked up. I've temporarily got it disconnected. This was an old workbench I had at one of my old houses, and it's been stored in the barn for a few years since we bought this place, and just thought it'd be kind of nice to have out here as I'm doing stuff, have an actual workbench to use. Couple couches. I got an extra hood. This is the hood I'm probably going to use on the C10. Going to get it hung up at some point. As you can see, all the electric is ran. Right here is where my loft is going to end up going. This whole section will be an upstairs. I've already got my cripples made here out of sandwich 2x6s. And then up here I've got a couple 2x10s and trash bags to basically be placeholders for my sandwich 2x10 beams that will kind of be the header for the loft. The reason those are there is I've got spray foam insulation coming either tomorrow or the next day, hopefully. So just wanted to get some video, show an update, see what it looks like one last time before all this is spray foamed. I love having the white. This is just a bubble wrap vapor barrier. I did that in case I couldn't afford to do insulation. I'd at least have kind of a windbreak, a moisture barrier, so we wouldn't have condensation dripping. And at least it does have like a R1, R2 value, something. So it's at least something. But it's not a total waste now that I've decided to go ahead and spend the money, do the spray foam, get it over with. At least we still have that vapor barrier, so I can go ahead and do open cell spray foam and still have a watertight setup. Just kind of taking a look around today with all the rain we've had. Just one last check to make sure Nothing is leaking. Everything seems to be completely dry, which is good. The reason I put these place setters up here is after they spray foam around that, my friend Austin gave me this idea that basically I can just peel that plastic off, pull those 2x10s out, and I'll have a perfect mold that my 2x10 sandwich beam could just slide up into place and have a nice clean place in the foam where that can go. I've already got yesterday I went ahead and put my outlets. Those are the outlets that are going to be near the floor in the loft once it's finished. Just all this wiring I knew I was going to have in here. I thought it'd be easier to do now before they spray foam. That way all the wires tuck nice and neat behind all the posts. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outlets. About tripped over my son's hoverboard. So yeah, there'll be some other things I want to add, I'm sure, but that's going to be a pretty good start as far as my wiring. I also had to come in and frame in these windows all around so they'd have a nice clean line to bring the spray foam up to. I'm going to do 3.5 inches of open cell. The place I'm using, my buddy, a couple people I know have used them and said, just pay for 3.5. You're going to end up getting 4 and 5 inches in some place. But I'm going to do all the walls. I'm going to do the entire ceiling and inside the soffits. These are 14-foot walls. I did that for one so I could have the extra clearance for my loft, scissor trusses for the extra head clearance for the loft. And then about right here where my truck is sitting, I've got about almost a 15 by 15 or a 12 by 15 spot marked out, and that is 6-inch concrete, whereas the rest is 4, because that's where I'm going to eventually install a lift. So that is another reason I did the jack shaft direct garage door openers, so I don't have any of this stuff hanging above, and the scissor trusses give me a little bit more headroom. And that way, when I put in a 2-post lift, if I lift a truck like this, if I want to get under it, the top of my truck's pretty much going to be probably touching the trusses. So just trying to think ahead with that kind of stuff. But this is the shop. This is the update. I am editing a couple older videos now, but before we do the spray foam, I wanted to go ahead and get some video of how the building looks now. One thing I didn't really want to do was run a vent pipe through my brand new roof, but that is required in my county, so that's done. Luckily, I have 0 leaks up there. But I'm going to take this through the roof silicone type product, go ahead and apply it in a few areas just to have some extra insurance, make sure nothing's going to leak before they come in to do the spray foam. And yeah, that's where I'm at on this. This is what has been taking up a ton of my time, and I'm not sorry for it because this is a long-term goal, and we're super excited to finally get this done. My kids are super excited to have this space to hang out in. The loft will probably come a little later in the spring maybe. Hopefully get some older videos that you guys are excited to see, as well as the final video on the Harley. Spring is right around the corner, and hopefully that thing will sell pretty quick. Thanks for watching. There's the update.